Commissioner, can you explain why Harris County is now facing a deficit for a fifth straight fiscal year?
Some of it is because of state restrictions, the revenue cap that we have to deal with, particularly for urban areas. Some of it is because when they passed the statute putting in a revenue cap, the first time that went into effect, a couple of my colleagues decided to be AWOL. So they were absent, and that forced us to the no new revenue rate twice. And then that gives you a lower base from which you start in order to set your tax rate. And also because of healthcare costs are going up, we gave a substantial pay raise to law enforcement. We also addressed some of the inequities we had. We did a big study to see if many of our employees were making less than they should have made. And there were gender and racial issues there on why some people were not being paid. And also because of the loss of federal money. With a new administration in, we simply don't have as much money coming in. Then you add to that what's happening in terms of the cost of plastic going up, drugs, designer drugs that are people that we recognize in this country that people can get approval to use, so that healthcare costs is going up consistently. And look, we're urban county. More people are coming in, even with a revenue cap. That doesn't cut back on our responsibility to address those basic needs of an urban area. Bigger, I might add, than 26 states.
The deficit could be anywhere from 129 million to 287 million, depending on how you set the tax rate. What sort of cuts will be necessary to close that gap?
I met with the budget office a couple hours ago. I think we're somewhere in the neighborhood of about $180 million is what the deficit will be. So we're going to institute a number of measures. We're looking at selling off some property that we have, some excess property. Tough decisions we'll make in that regard. We're going to institute hiring freezes. We're going to come up with a number of one-time fixes to help us get through this. The option of raising revenue won't be on the table. We're simply not going to do that. But we're just going to have to live within our means. You know, we're required to have a balanced budget, and that we will have.
And what about addressing this long term?
I think it's a real simple issue. We got to live under the laws that the state puts on us. And if we have to cut back on services, some of them, in my judgment, are essential services, we're going to have to do that. I think when you have a deficit that many years in a row, at some point you have to go ahead and admit it's a structural issue. There's some reimbursements that are coming from federal government that'll help us once they get in, but we're going to have to make some tough decisions. Or at some point, enough of my colleagues would have to decide under state law if we want to give the citizens an option of paying for more services. If they want more, they're going to have to pay for it. It has to go to voters. And if they don't approve it, it won't happen. Twice, by the way, I don't mind admitting, I made the motion saying, look, let the citizens decide. If they want these services, they'll have to pay for them. But we didn't have 3 votes to do that. We didn't do it. Now I may change my attitude. At some point, when somebody else decides they want additional revenue, I suspect I won't be making the motion. But under the state law, at some point, if you got to have more money, you have to go to the voters. And if the voters turn it down, it's their choice. It is their government.
Have you submitted a proposal to fully fund the DA's investigation into the deadly shooting involving the ICE agent?
I have. And I thought it was important. I thought it was the right thing to do. For many years while I was in the state Senate, a couple of years here in county government, I chaired the Board of Innocence Project out of New York. I know how important it is for the public to have confidence in law enforcement. In order for our fine law enforcement figures to do their job, they have to have the confidence. People have to believe them, they have to trust them. And the harsh reality is, in this environment, it's very difficult for most people to trust the Department of Justice because of the politicalization that's going on from the White House. So I thought it's important. You can't do it on every case, but on this case, I thought it's important to do that. I had a casual conversation with the district attorney after he made the decision that he was going to do his own investigation. And I said, look, just know that whatever resources are within reason that you need, I'm going to be one of those advocating for it. And so it was my call. I said, look, I think we'll have a press conference and put it on the agenda so it's clear that we're going to give you the resources that you need. I got a preliminary number. I don't want to announce it on TV before my colleagues see that it's on the agenda, but I think we have a pretty good idea. And it's about in the neighborhood of what I thought it would cost to go and do it.
All right. Harris County Commissioner Rodney Ellis, sir, thank you for your time.
Always good to be with you. Thank you.